So, on that note, let's talk about the next 7 years. All right, so this Rosh Hashanah, we'll be talking about this a little bit more as we get closer to Rosh Hashanah, which is September the 22nd, 23rd. Um, Year 5786. And I always find it interesting every single year what the meaning of the Jewish number is of that year, because it always means something. If you study Hebrew, you'll know that Hebrew is such a supernatural, amazing language where every letter has a number attached to it. And it's, I think it's the original language. And so 5786 is, you guys are just not going to believe this. Maybe you already know, the year of the Lord. And the year of the Lord is manifestations of his glory, of his presence, of his outpouring, of blessings, of open doors, of all of these beautiful things. And the flip side to that, obviously, is what's going to be going on around us. So, for the next 7 year period, so that takes us to about 2032, which is right about the time that the Lord told me, watch 2030 area, like have some things developed before around 2030. After 2030 time frame, things are not going to be the same. Have you guys heard of the Stargate that's being built in Texas? Anybody know anything about that? Well, Stargate, do y'all remember that movie when we were kids called Stargate? Okay. I don't find it a coincidence that they're developing, like, and I also don't find it a coincidence that we watched Terminator back 20 something, 30 years ago and they were talking about Skynet. AI is Skynet. I preached that in the park years ago. The Lord just dropped that into me and said it's going to be like what you watched when you were a kid. They already knew about it. So this Stargate thing, that movie came back to my remembrance when I was reading about what they're building in Stargate. They are wanting to open portals, right? This AI thing and like what they're doing at CERN, okay? So let me just read this to you real quick about what they're doing in Texas. Out in Texas, is a technology center located next to SpaceX. That doesn't shock me at all. Called Starbase. However, there is no public accessible, obviously, to this. Um, it is a facility, radio frequency technology park, focusing on AI development. Billions have been invested into this, into the next generation of AI computing infrastructure. The focus of Stargate project is to advance American leadership in AI and generate massive economic benefits. Of course, it has to hide underneath that. So basically, they're building Skynet. I don't think any of us, including myself, really realize what has been let out of the bag and what they're doing. Everything by 2030, 32-ish for the next 7 years will be a slow, gradual increase into every single thing we do going on the blockchain. But it's bigger than the blockchain. By the time we get to 2030, 2032, it's going to be blockchain's old news, right? But it's the foundation, it's the infrastructure. This is what I talked about at Billionaire Boot Camp. The Lord told me when I was preparing for Billionaire Boot Camp back in October, when me and Larry did that, we'll have another one in the spring, is that this is just the foundation. This blockchain and cryptocurrencies is just the foundation. And this is another reason why I'm getting a little annoyed and distancing myself from the wealth transfer community conversations because it is old, it is redundant, and they're missing the point. This is so much bigger than the cryptos that we're just using cryptos as a catalyst, as a like a catapult to slingshot us into areas that we're not going to have access to come 2027, 28, 29. All right, where cryptocurrencies are just going to be old news. It'll be something that we use as an infrastructure, but it's not going to be something that we're talking about investing in, going in and out of. Like it's just going to be a way of life. It's just going to be like using debit cards. Like who talks about debit cards? Boring. I mean, that's just how it's going to be. It's developing into this AI smart, super surveillant global thing that we know is coming. The Bible told us so. Although the Bible told us so, we're still having a hard time understanding how all this is going to develop and intertwine. But we're getting glimpses of it. We're getting glimpses of, this blockchain technology. We're getting glimpses of the benefits, but the benefits are eventually going to be hijacked into complete terror. I hope we're out of here by then. But our job is to be as big Josephs, right? I want everyone to always, no matter how long you're here on Patreon, whether you have to leave it or fly on your own, or maybe you're just here for a season, do not ever forget what I'm about to say to you. Please think bigger, Josephs.